Forgiveness is one of those words that we bandy about a good bit in the church, but what's it mean? If I ask for you a definition or a part of a definition for forgiveness, what would you say? Anybody? Give me a quick definition. Gil.
Letting go.
Letting go. Somebody said that at the first service. Good. Anybody else? What's forgiveness mean?
Not counting coup.
Not counting.
Coup.
Not counting coup.
I don't expect.
Oh, I see. Is that got anything to do with booger glue? No, never mind. Not counting coup. Anybody else? What's the definition of forgiveness? Fred Binkner, in his wonderful little book called Wishful Thinking, gives maybe the best definition of forgiveness I've ever heard. Let me read it to you. To forgive somebody is to say one way or another, and I quote, "You have done something unspeakable, and by all rights I should call it quits between us. However, although I make no guarantees that I will be able to forget what you've done, and though we may carry the scars the rest of our lives, I refuse to let it stand between us. I still want to be your friend." I like that definition, folks, for a couple of different reasons. One of them is it acknowledges. It acknowledges the brokenness that we have for one another, and it never lets the other person off the hook completely. Let's just say it. Forgiveness is not always the same as forgetting. Did you ever notice that? Sometimes this short of heaven, we can forgive somebody, but forgetting is another whole matter. Secondly, it acknowledges the scars. And if you have been hurt like I have been hurt, those scars are real and they exist. And let's say it again. Forgiveness cannot and will not eliminate those scars. Even the resurrected Christ was scarred. And thirdly, even though we can't forget, and even though we are scarred, forgiveness says that we will not let this enter into and destroy the relationship. It says, in spite of everything, that the relationship between us means more than the brokenness between us. Folks, forgiveness is a powerful thing. It costs us something. Forgiveness is the glue that holds us together. And maybe the most important thing of all, have you noticed? Forgiveness is an even more precious gift to the person doing the forgiving than the one being forgiven. When's the last time somebody forgave you? When's the last time you forgave somebody else? It's not easy, is it? We hurt each other in such intense ways, sometimes intentional, sometimes not. And the tendency in this castaway, throwaway world of ours is to say the heck with the relationship and move on. And sometimes, let's be honest, and sometimes the pain and the brokenness are such that that's the best we can do. And sometimes, in spite of the pain and the brokenness, we can muster just enough forgiveness to hang on. Either way, forgiveness is fragile and powerful thing. Just ask him. He was strung up on a cross, broken, battered, bloodied, beaten to within an inch of his life. The religious authorities chose a common criminal named Barabbas instead of him. The Roman governor caved into public pressure and signed the execution warrant. Even his friends took the first plane out of town. Why did he die? And the only answer that the church ever gives is so we don't have to. Every sin we have ever committed, every brokenness, every betrayal of ourselves and God, every denial of ourselves and each other, Jesus Christ paid that debt. He gave his life. And then, right before he died, he says one of the most remarkable and incomprehensible phrases I have ever heard. 3 words. Father, forgive them. Are you kidding me? Battered and bloodied and broken and beaten, Jesus looks up into heaven to see God looking down on the earth, and Jesus says, forgive them. All of them. For all of it. Isaiah's words were these. Do you remember them? He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that made us whole, and with his stripes we are healed. You talk about forgiveness. You want to know how much God loves you? That much. To climb up on a cross and die to say these words to every one of us in this room, I still, no matter what you've done to me, I still want to be your friend. Now, folks, I don't know about you, but I can't comprehend that kind of forgiveness. I don't understand it. I don't deserve it. About all I can do, about I think all any of us can do, is share it. Is to begin to try and forgive each other and ourselves the same way that God has forgiven us. What will happen is that our relationship with each other and our relationship with God will deepen as a result. Did I tell you that forgiveness is a powerful thing?